Jai ho, jai ho. Here we go.
Yeah, we're gonna come. I'll probably slide. How about that? Should we slide this? Yeah. Let me careful of the water. Let's get all set up first. Yeah, slide it here down. Yeah, perfect. Okay, nice. Okay.
Oh, can you speak into the mic so that it's...
Yeah, sure. If you want me to. Could I have a stand? Would be helpful.
Sure.
I can't hold it. I like to use my hands.
Here we go. We're setting up for the class. Get ready.
Oh my God.
We're here. We're live. Anyone who wants to get this amazing class under the guidance of Srimati Syamarani Didi. For the etiquette class, say hi. How are you? And so Malini's going to be leading this class. So Malini is going to be leading this amazing class. Get ready. All right. Okay. Sorry. Here we go. Perfectamundo. Love my GGs.
I'm going to fill this one up so it won't be blasted.
Oh, that's a good thing. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. For the... Perfect. Giving people time to come in. Yeah, okay, perfect.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Gurudev Ki
Jai
Prabhupada Ki
Jai
Srimati Syamarani Didi Ki
Jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Hari Bol. First of all, I offer my humble obeisances unto thousands of times unto the lotus feet of Guru Pad Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Stotara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev.
Yes.
And the same unto my grandfather Gurus, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Stotara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and the same unto Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotara Satashi Shrimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and then onto our entire Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga.
Beautiful.
Haribol.
Haribol.
So trying to start right, on the right step, praying for the mercy of Srila Gurudev. I feel very, I don't feel...
Sorry, can we make the circle bigger because...
Expand. Oh, yeah,
Expand.
Please talk to one another. This is also informal.
Come,
I
darling,
started
come,
formally,
darling. Come,
but really I just want to share that I feel very grateful for this opportunity to be sharing this, even though I am not the most qualified person to be sharing things about Archan.
She's amazing. She's amazing to listen to that.
But really, I think it's important. Archan is something that we don't talk about a lot, and we're going to do some real talk right now.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So, you know, growing up as a devotee, I was like not very attracted to the idea of Archan. For me, it was very exclusive. Like, I can't do Archan. You know, as a kid, I'd have a lollipop and be like, Shri Vishnu, here you go, Krishna. I'd just eat it. I
love it. Oh my gosh, they were
I wasn't allowed on the altar. I love dressing deities, but doing all the mantras and this and that, it just seemed like way too much. What is this? Like,
Yes.
I couldn't connect to what it was all about. And then coming to Srila Gurudev, even he didn't emphasize deity worship so much in comparison. Like if you look at ISKCON, it's so beautiful. They have 5 offerings a day. They dress the deities twice. And just so elaborate with their pujari seva, and it's amazing and beautiful. And then when I came to Srila Gurudev, he didn't emphasize it as much. Not saying that it wasn't important, but he said, focus on Harinam, focus on bhajan. Don't just distribute books, understand the books. So he didn't want us, there's one level of understanding where we do the external, whether it's book distribution or puja. But Gurudev was really about, let's also focus on the internal. Let's also understand what we're doing.
And he gave Archan Deepika, yeah.
Yes, and he gave Archan Deepika.
For that.
So I'm just saying, this is my mentality when I first came to Gurudev. I was like, oh, I guess I don't really need deities. Okay. You know, that was my mentality. And then only till recently, it's been in our Shastras, it's in Upadeshamrita, it's in many discussions of how important Archan or Didi worship is for the neophyte devotee, how important it is. And it's only till now I'm starting to realize why that's so important. And it's because, okay, the pure devotee, he doesn't necessarily need a physical deity, because the deity is manifested fully in his heart already. So he or she is serving Radha and Krishna in his heart, his or her heart, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have a relationship with the divine couple. They know what they want, what they like, their likes and dislikes, everything. So for them, Didi worship is on a whole nother level. It's spontaneous love. It's Raganuga. So for us, why Archan is so important is we don't have that relationship with the divine couple yet. So it's important to have Vaidhi Bhakti, or Bhakti with the rules and regulations, and in line with Archan, having these tools, these mantras, these processes where we can start to practice what the pure devotees spontaneously do. We're practicing it like a robot at first, going through the motions, but slowly in hopes to pray for that same mood so that it will come naturally, and that loving affection and inspiration to serve will come naturally. But it starts with understanding what the Shastras have delineated as processes that work. And so I have these papers. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Questions?
yes,
You can interject
absolutely.
anytime. This is not a lecture. So let me pass these out. Yeah. I need one copy, sorry. So what is Archan? Like we said, it's Didi worship, but it's so much more than that. It's really about establishing our relationship with the divine, with Radha and Krishna, who are our Ishtadev, and they so mercifully manifest in Shri Vigraha form, in a Didi form, right? So I don't have Didis myself. It's actually not recommended to buy Didis. It's recommended that the Didis come on their own accord, actually, when they desire to come. So we should all have our own altar at home, wherever we are. I travel a lot. It's not easy to have an altar, but it is important to have some sort of altar. And if you don't have Didis of your own, this beautiful painting that Srimati Syamarani Didi painted at Shiva Gurudev's heart, he said, this is his heart, this is his Ishtadev that is present within him that he wants to share with the entire world. You can have Seva Kunj on your altar. This is, if you want the most basic, so this is basic Archan 101, we're going bare minimum of like what is helpful that you can do every day. Having Seva Kunj on your altar, and I would recommend a picture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the Gaudiya Mat standard. These three deities, Radha, Srimati Radhika, Shri Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is non-different than Radha and Krishna. These three are your package deal to the spiritual world. If you want to add others like Jagannath, Nrsimhadev, like we have so many beautiful deities here, that's very beautiful, and it's all great and wonderful. But the three, because Archan is about being one-pointed, establishing your relationship, we're striving for Braja Bhakti. So Radha and Krishna and Mahaprabhu are our goal, to be the maidservants of Srimati Radhika and Krishna, and be in Mahaprabhu's Leela. So that is our goal. And if we have any other deities like Jagannath, Nrsimhadev, it should all be through the eyes of aspiring for Braja Bhakti. So we're praying to Nrsimhadev to remove our anartha so that we can become maidservants of Srimati Radhika. We see Jagannath as non-different from Shyamasundar Krishna, right? He's not Dwarkadish. We don't see him like that. That's why you see him, yes?
So I know Radha Krishna and Gauranga are Gaudiya thing.
Yes.
But Gaurnitai came to me twice. I sent them away the first time and they came again, so I'm like, I better just take them.
Gaurnitai is completely bona fide. Gaurnitai is amazing. Srila Prabhupada established Gaurnitai in most of his temples, if not all of them, because we need the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is Guru. And I was going to talk about this. So with Radha and Krishna and Mahaprabhu, they can all be present together because they're the same tattva. But when you have Nityananda Prabhu introduced, you will need a divider. So you will have to have Gaurnitai on one side and Radha Krishna on another side. So you see there's beautiful dividers here. Look at this, perfect example. We have Radha Krishna on one side, Gaurnitai on another, because Baladev is not in the Kunj.
But I'm saying, what about just Gorn and Thai?
Gorn
Yes.
Thai is amazing. Yes, I'm
They're
saying Gorn
complete.
Thai. That's also for the Patita Pavan. For those who are fallen, Patita Pavan Tagore is completely acceptable because
That's
Radha
why they
Krishna,
came to me.
Radha and Krishna are in Mahaprabhu, right?
Exactly.
So
They're
that's the
complete.
mood.
They're complete.
But I'm just saying, I'm talking about like the Gaudiya Math standard also, and just also you have to have that vision. Remember that Mahaprabhu is Radha Krishna. That's also, he's giving both. Without
Yes.
Mahaprabhu's mercy, we cannot have Radha Krishna.
Exactly.
So Gurudev himself, actually, in my house, we had Nrsimhadev. We were avid worshippers of Nrsimhadev. And we had Radha Krishna, we had Gornitai, we had Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. And when he came, he said there should be dividers. That was one thing he mentioned. So if we do have many deities, it's important to divide the moods to make sure that we don't have everyone in the rasa dance, right? So Radha and Krishna are together. With Mahaprabhu is okay, but if we have Gornitai, the separate, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, also on a separate altar. Any questions so far? Giriraj is in Vrindavan. He's with Radha. He with Radha Krishna. Okay.
So even between the pictures, that you might have.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yes.
That's a
even
good
between the
question.
pictures. Well, pictures have frames, so, do your best. I would say there is some sort of divider naturally with the frames. But yes, if you can, depending on your altar, try to have some separation, especially with like Nrsimhadev. We want to have a little separation because his mood is beautiful and it's powerful. But again, not in the kunj. They don't go together. So
Yes.
I heard Nrsimhadev would scare Radha away.
Yes, I
Yes,
heard it.
yes.
Yes. Gurudev says that.
yeah, exactly. Perfect point. So we're talking about, so we have our deities, we have our home altar space. Now, what's the most important thing about
Is there an
Archan?
extra one?
One thing I believe Srila Prabhupada said is, here we are, we're at letter A on the list, is punctuality. It's the number one thing that I've heard is most important for at least a pujari in the temple. Always be on time. It's the number one thing. Now, for someone at home, what does that mean? The way I see it, it's consistency, right? So it's difficult, at home to be. Actually, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj says this very beautifully. He says Krishna in the temple is king, so everything revolves around the king in the temple. Krishna at someone's house is a guest.
Oh.
So the guest allows for some concession.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that a sweet?
That's
I
so
just
interesting.
Love that. So because some people
Wow.
want to do, they're like, oh my God, I have so many standards, so many things I have to do. No, and this is what I think Gurudev wanted to emphasize. We don't want to get so caught up in Archan where we're not chanting Harinam, deepening our bhakti, being in Sadhu Sangha, right? So
Yeah, it's the best analogy, yeah.
So the deity, so Krishna is
So
in the
good.
house as a guest, and he's there so lovingly there, ready for your service. So whatever you can do, I would say, like Srila Prabhupada says, punctuality. In the home, I see that punctuality as consistency. So whatever you do, just be consistent with that, right? Even if it's offering one flower a day, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Or one offering a day, one nice cooked meal for the Lord. That'll be one thing I do today, every day. Or I'll do one arti, Mangal arti. So that consistency builds that relationship with the deities. So
It increases.
and I'm speaking for myself, okay, because I really want to have more taste in Archan. And like I said, I started out just like not interested at all, and it's something that I'm very curious about. But again, it's only to nourish our mood, Archan. So we shouldn't be intimidated by all the rules, because there's a lot. I'll show you the 2 books, bhaktistore.com.
But yes, Queen, yes.
Archan Deepika.
Love
If you want to know all the ins and outs of Archan Deepika, there's a
Bhaktistore.com.
summarized form of Archan at the end of Bhajan Rahasya.
Oh, I didn't
There's
know
a
that.
quick version of it, like the most important things, but we're even doing a smaller version of that because there's so much with Archan. Cleanliness, this is number 2. One of the most, if not the most important in Archan. And I'm talking about the rules of Archan. So of course the most important is mood, right? That's the most important. We have beautiful stories like where we have a Brahman woman stirring khichdi with her neem stick. She's brushing her teeth on one end and stirring it and feeding her children, one of which is Krishna. And Sanatana Goswami is looking and saying, Mataji, you need to take a bath and clean yourself before you feed the Lord. I mean, do you realize what you're doing? And then she took a bath and did all of that and followed his instructions, and the children were very upset. And Krishna says, why are you making her take a bath? Now the food is late. let's see where we go. Punctuality is number one. Krishna is hungry.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
But of course, as I mean, she has
Oh, my goodness.
probably Raghunaga Bhakti, she's a pure devotee, so it's different. But we can see the example that that's what we want. We want the mood.
goal.
So behind all the mantras and all the
Hashtag goals.
rules, we want to pray for that love and that affection. So that's number one. But while we're getting there, we need to be clean, right? Because our body is full of blood, pus, stool, urine, all of that. So we need to try to become pure to approach the pure, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to be as much as possible in the mode of goodness to approach the above mode of goodness, the transcendental, right? So we have, we take a bath in the morning. How do we become clean? Let's talk about it. What do we do?
Brush your teeth.
We brush our teeth first before taking a bath, actually, because it's so moochy.
Ooh.
To floss, stuff comes out of your mouth. If you do that after you take a bath, it's not clean,
Yes.
actually. And we do our business, go to the toilet. Going poop, right? If you poop, you
Yeah.
take a shower.
Yes.
That is, we're getting into the real talk now.
Real time. No filter. No
So,
filter.
yeah, I've even heard, even if it's freezing cold and it's wintertime, what do? There's a few concessions. You can bathe from your belly button under, belly button down. That's one way to do it, but you have to bathe. That area needs to be cleaned. And you don't wear clothes when you go to the bathroom. You wear a gamsha, because otherwise those clothes become contaminated.
Mooch.
A gamsha is a towel. This is actually gamsha.
Mooch.
You can look at this. It's a thin cotton cloth. You can use a towel, but this is just easier to wrap around you. But essentially, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a
And
wrap.
that's why you're not supposed to do a wrap when you're doing the Archan?
You can separately.
Yes, you're supposed to
Clean
wear
one.
actually a dhoti and sari, like a proper outfit. You're not going to wear your towel when you're doing. Some people do, but it's not the ideal. Brahmacharis in the mat. No, I'm just kidding. No, they walk around with the gums.
Just
Ideally, we
kidding.
always, and I'll talk about that. So, mode of goodness. So we get clean, we bathe. We bathe, and we
kidding.
bathe our body, but that we're still a bag of pus and blood and stool. Yes.
I'm sorry, but I don't dress like this hardly ever. So you're saying that I should have these clothes just to do.
Good question.
Yes, very good
Good
question.
question. I was going to say, actually, so we're getting into modes of material nature. Everything has a mode. And so when we're doing Archan, we want to be in the mode of goodness. Cotton is in the mode of goodness. And cloth like a sari, open wrapped cloth. Or silk as well. But now, ahimsa, people get into hurting the silkworm. So let's just say cotton for now. Also, we're not lavish devotees, so there's silk doties. Let's try to get or maybe we are, I don't know. But let's just say cotton. Cotton is ideal. And a dhoti for men. And even men don't wear kurtas technically when they're on the altar. But let's just say devotional clothing. No stitched clothing technically. And for women, it would be a sari. Yeah.
It's okay.
That's the ideal.
Totally everything. You know.
Again, like I was telling Vishnu Priya, I said, I know there's a lot of rules, but it's important to know the rule if you
At
want
least
the
know.
concession.
Exactly.
If you want to break it, at least knowingly have the concession or make the concession after knowing what the reality is.
Yes.
I'm just curious if there'd be no stitching in your clothing, what would a traditional choli top be?
I was
It would
gonna
be
ask that
tied.
same thing.
Tied fabric.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we don't do that.
But we don't do
We don't
that.
do
Of
that.
course,
We don't do that.
Like I said, things change. We're in modern
Over
times.
time.
But sorry. Yes.
I'm sorry, my question I don't think was complete though.
Okay.
Should we have a special outfit that we wear just for doing that?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what-
that'd be
It doesn't
great.
have to be a particular
As long as
this
it's
is
clean.
my puja sari, but when you're doing Archan, it's important to have devotional clothing.
That's
on.
clean, exactly.
That's clean.
Okay.
Very good point. That's clean, not like yesterday's and the day before that you just keep wearing over and over again. Yeah, or your pajamas, right?
Yeah.
That's good. And that's what we're going to talk about. So also like modes of material nature, jeans. Actually, Sripad Premananda Prabhu, he talks about this a lot, about modes of material nature. I love this. If your room is dirty and you have rotting food in your bowl and you're sleeping at night, you're going to have bad dreams. It's going to affect your consciousness. That's why cleanliness is so important. If you're squeezing your butt really tight leggings, which I wear, okay, I'm not denying myself of that. It is in the mode of passion because it's embracing your limbs.
Oh.
Yes.
Acha.
That's why we don't wear things
Good
that
for me.
hug our limbs and everything sucked in tight because there is an effect
No
on the
Spanx.
no
Oh,
thanks.
Spanx.
It's on
Yes. Oh my
it
goodness.
affects the consciousness of what
Yeah.
we wear. So when we're doing Archan, the idea of cleanliness is actually to get in that perfect mode of goodness that we can do mantra and mantra upasana and worship. Okay, so we got that. We got cleaned externally. Getting into that, how do we clean ourselves internally? Because we got to clean our inside. That's the most important. Is mantra. Like Didi said, mantra is all encompassing everywhere. So here's the first verse. If you need to take a bath by mind, you should do this even after you take a bath. But let's say you can't take a bath. You're traveling on a train. This is the verse for you. Let's repeat after me. Apavitra,
Apavitra,
pavitrava,
Padritrava,
sarvavastam,
Sarvavastam,
gatopiva,
Gopiva,
yasmaret,
Yasmaret,
pundarikaksham,
Pundarikaksham,
savaya,
Savaya,
yantara suchihi.
Yantara Suchihi.
Someone want to read the translation?
Whether one is contaminated
With a mic.
Oh.
Oh no.
And one Archan cup down.
Whether one is contaminated or pure, or in any condition or stage of life, if one remembers the lotus-eyed Lord, Pundarikaksha,
Good
Sri
job. Yeah.
Krishna, one becomes purified, but both externally and internally.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So we're not just purifying our body, but trying to purify our mind, our heart, because our body is a temple. You guys have heard that before. And we're preparing it in the morning so that we're inviting Krishna to come in our hearts. That's really what, and reminding, that's what Tilak's about. We're going to get into that too. But let's start on the next step. So we took a bath, we purified ourselves with some mantra. Now we're going to further purify ourselves with Achman. This here, these are Achman cups. It's also called Panchapatra. And everyone should have a Achman cup. That's like a go-to devotee item, always. Achman cup with a spoon. And we're going to, you pour water in it, and you're going to call all the holy rivers to descend into the pot of water, or the Achman cup. And we do this by putting our right hand, our thumb, on our ring finger in the middle, on the space. So for those of you who don't have Diksha, this is how we start our mantras. We start on this spot, and we go all the way around. But for now, we're just going to start here. And we're going to place our hand, you guys can all come closer, place our hand over the water. Come. Now for those who are men, they have a Brahmin thread, and they'll wrap the Brahmin thread around their thumb. Women do not get Brahmin thread.
Do you touch the water?
Yes,
Oh,
just above.
I didn't know.
You can do just above or just touch it. But we don't want to have our fingernails in the water. That's very
Okay.
important because fingernails are moochie.
Like your skin on your fingers, but not.
What
Not
does
your
moochie
nails.
mean?
Moochie means
clean.
dirty. I'm going to use that word. So, and it's good to cover, I can't reach right now, but we're going to cover our right hand with the left hand because it's secret.
I'm sorry, why don't women get Brahmin threads?
Because we have beautiful God-givens, and so we don't need the Brahmin thread to get all entangled. That's how my explanation. But we just don't. That's just...
There's actually archaeological evidence to the contrary.
Oh, really?
I'll share that with you.
Okay, but Srila
Okay.
Gurudev, at least what he has established for us, not necessary for women to have the Brahmin thread, but that doesn't mean we can't do any of the worship. But we just don't need a Brahmin thread. But they'll wrap it around their thumb. But either way, we always cover our right
Yes,
hand because it's
cover right
secret. We always, the mantras, just even when we do our Gayatri, we cover our mantras because of
And do we, what about it should be closed? Should it be closed or
hands.
open?
Yeah, Gurudev would, he actually, with
I
my
remember.
husband, he had my husband's hand, Jagadish Prabhu, cupping it, teaching how to move the fingers along the hand.
Without-
And Gurudev looked up and he's like, not good. Because there was kind of gaps in
Big
his
gaps.
fingers. Even, I have gaps even if I squeeze it really tight. But he was
So
like,
try
not
not to
good
have
because
gaps.
that energy, the Shakti, mantra
Losing-
Shakti can flow out.
Flow out, exactly. So let's
So
try
we
to
try
keep
our
it.
best. So
Yes,
we put our,
yes,
our
queens.
thumb on our ring finger, cover left, and repeat after me. Here's this verse on the paper. Gange cha,
Cha,
Yamuna chaiva,
Yamuna Chaiva,
Godavari,
Godavari,
Saraswati,
Saraswati,
Narmade,
Narmade,
Sindhu,
Sindhu,
Kaveri,
Kaveri,
Jalismin,
Jalishmin,
Sannidhin Kuru.
Sannidhin Kuru.
Could someone read the translation of that? Beautiful.
O Ganga, O Yamuna, O Godavari, O Saraswati, O Naramada, O Sindhu, O Kaveru,
Kaveri. Oh, that's wrong. Sorry, it's coveting. It's coveting.
Kaveri. Please become present in this water.
Jai Ho.
Jai Ho.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So we've just called all the holy waters.
Sorry.
We've called all the sacred holy rivers into the pot, into the Archan cup. We're ready to purify ourselves even further. Any questions?
Is our skin supposed to be touching the water?
I believe so, from what I understand. But even if it, or just above with the mantras, just hovering closely. You know, I'm sure live stream there might be people who know better than me. They might even comment so we can look after. Like I said, I'm not an expert. Brad is asking right now, I think. Yes.
Does the cup have to be like this, or can it be other material? Because I have like a glass water thing on my altar.
Actually, having bell metal or brass, silver, gold, these are ideal. We want metal cup in general.
Okay.
Bell metal is more. Did you ask?
So she said she's not 100% sure. She says it's better to look in Archan Deepika, but she said she doesn't. And I've heard not to, but I don't remember.
I also heard not to, but I feel like I've seen
both.
it too. So like I said,
We'll do
live
research.
stream,
We'll
if
get back to
anybody
you.
knows,
We'll get back
Archan
to you.
Deepika.
We will get back to you.
In the water on the finger.
Yeah. Just always best, like I said, hovering very closely over. Keep it in the tatashta, yeah.
I have a two-part question.
Yes.
A, what if your fingernails are clean? And B, what if isn't saying that you shouldn't put your fingernail in the water because they're dirty, an admission of not being clean?
Okay, good question. So I knew this was some of these questions I wanted to bring this kind of topic up, so I'm glad you did. Fingernails, you were asking, even if your fingernails are clean.
Impeccable all the time.
Impeccable.
All the time.
Yours are beautiful. Are we allowed to put it in the water? The answer is no.
I'm not wanting to. I'm just trying to clarify.
Is it okay? The answer, so there's certain parts of the body that are just considered not as clean. So like, for example, your hair is clean when it's on your head. Once it falls, it's dirty. Yes. Interesting. So that's why it's important to tie your hair. Didi wanted me to talk about this. When you're doing Archan, I came prepared. I tried to dress for the occasion. It's important to tie your hair during Archan, cooking or Archan, because first of all, it's Shakti. Our hair, all of our Shaktis in our hair, and by tying it, we're keeping the Shakti inside. It's very important, even when we're doing mantras or Harinam, to have our hair tied. I know we like to have our beach waves flowing. I do. Woohoo! But when we're doing mantras and when we're doing Archan, it's very important to tie our hair.
And when we do touch our hair, we're supposed to wash our hands.
Correct.
In the kitchen, in Thakurji worship.
Yes.
I remember I got yelled at a couple of times in Radhi Kunj kitchen.
Yes, that's very important. And fingernails is the same thing. Like, let's say we want to find the temperature of something, because it's important also whenever we're cooking. We want to do it with love. Like I remember in ISKCON, you weren't allowed to taste anything before you offered it. And for me, it made it intimidating to cook, because I'm like, I don't know, especially as a new cook, someone who's doesn't know. And then Srila Gurudev, his Sangha, had, like I remember his sevaks in the entourage, they would taste things before, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But there's rules to that, of how to do it. For example, when we taste, we don't swallow. We don't swallow, we wash out our mouth and we spit it out. It's only to taste on the tongue just to see if it has enough salt. And if we're checking temperature, we do not put our finger, this is where with the fingernail, we do not put our finger inside the hot liquid. We would pour a little bit on the outside of the hand with a spoon or something, just like a baby bottle. When you're testing for babies of the temperature, we do not put our finger in.
And you don't taste it from the cooking spoon.
Correct.
Direct.
You pour it into your hand. You step outside of the kitchen, because the kitchen is Radharani's kitchen. It is just as good as the altar. So the kitchen needs to be for temple standard, the kitchen is as clean as the altar, if not more.
Yes.
They're non-different, because they're the places of worship for the deities.
For those odd girls that have sikas, do they need to be tied back?
Ideally, yes, because for the women, just like women need to tie their hair, men need to have their sikas tied if they're doing any mantra, upasana, or archan, or any time actually.
And you wash the spoon afterwards, isn't it? I've seen in the mat. The spoon that even after putting it in your hand, the cooking spoon, you wash that.
Oh.
I've seen that in the mat.
I've seen it sometimes. I haven't always seen it all the time. But it's as long as it's not contaminated, it should be okay. But there's many different standards. There's a few right ways to do things. A few, not a ton of right things. But I'm just sharing what I know, and I'm sure there's other things. Okay. Any questions so far? Yes.
About the Archan cups, like when we purify by invoking
Mhm.
Ganga and stuff, do we have to change it daily and redo the mantras, or
We don't
I
have to
have
change
a
it
cup.
daily,
Oh,
but it would be
okay.
nice to.
Okay.
You know, I mean,
Like
that's
in the
again a
morning.
standard thing.
Especially for Thakurji's Achman.
For Thakurji, yes, but you know, again, if
DTs.
Oh.
yeah, I think that would be again how high of a standard you want to go. But technically, it's Ganga water in that water, so it's not like it becomes impure. You know, we've called the holy waters. But if you have, like, let's say leftover Achman water, you don't want to throw this in the sink. You want to give it to plants or something, because it is pure water, right? And if you want to change it up, because sometimes I fill it and I want to rechange it, but you don't want to dump it somewhere.
So I just have some embarrassing questions about, like, when do you go, okay, this Ashman pot has become dirty in my home? Like, there's a bug once with an Ashman pot. It's a kind of bug that eats aphids off Tulsi, but nonetheless, like, it fell in the Ashman pot and then, like, it's crawling around, like,
So yeah, you would have to
Change it.
dump out the water, change it.
But it means
In
is
plants.
that pot itself still good?
I don't
You
think
should
it's,
always rinse it.
I think you just clean it.
Cleanliness, yes.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be contaminated. The only way it would get contaminated is if it was used for somebody eating wise.
Okay,
That's the
one
question,
of my
okay.
dogs once came and
Yeah.
drank water out of it. So then
Yeah, see, for animals, especially dogs, if you want to know, okay, for the nectar, another book, Srila Prabhupada, he also,
I love that. She's like, my dog, that was my question. My dog drank out of it. Is it all right?
I'm like, hey, it's
so the bug is maybe okay, but dog, you know, it's
Literally
become
worst
juta,
case
and that's another word
scenario.
we can learn. Juta. So juta means like muchi again.
Worst case.
Yes, this is your papers. These are your papers. You can write whatever you want. Just a quick note of this. Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion.
Yes.
Which is also Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That's the Sanskrit name.
That's the same book?
The same book. But there's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, which is a summary of that. So Greeted has that book. I don't think we have in English Greeted's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So that has full out all the things you should not do on the altar.
Yeah.
And I won't get into that because it was like, don't wear red on the altar.
Oh, okay, let's not even go into it.
That's where we get into this, what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Do not touch your knees, elbows, or feet in front of the deity. Do not pass gas in front of the deity. And sometimes you can't control it. You know, that's why I'm saying, well, with the rules, it's good to know, but we do our best. And of course,
Do our best.
what Krishna, this is not about, like, we're not browbeating and being like, you have to do this. This is why I wanted to start out with, like, let's be real here. Like, we're going to start where we can. And whatever we do consistently and with prayer and with mood, right?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Next
what
point.
were we talking about?
You're saying juta.
Oh, juta. Just a quick, juta is unclean.
Unclean.
It's just a kind of colloquial common term you'll hear in devotee lingo. Juta.
There's another word for it.
Muchi.
Mochi. Mochi.
Muchi, but
That's like a that's a slang word.
that's
Like
a slang word.
it's a slang American. I think an American thing. Come on.
Suchi is clean. Well, I like suchi and muchi kind of work
Yeah,
together.
right.
Suchi and muchi. But juta is the more common word, and so, for example, we're going to get into actually doing achman, but
Love
these
this
are very
workshop,
important
man.
questions. So, this happens a lot. When you touch your mouth,
Yes. Talk about it.
anything to do with here, because there's many living entities. Actually, Didi, we were talking yesterday, she was mentioning how Srila Prabhupada was saying it's unclean because so many entities, so many living entities are around there. We have bacteria, we're eating, spit comes out. It's a very unclean place. It's unclean. So when we touch our mouth and we touch somebody, we just made them juta. Ah, they got cooties. Yeah, technically, so we should always wash our hands if we're touching the mouth area. When we're drinking water, ideally we wouldn't want to put our mouth on the cup. We would drink Brahmin style, as they call it, or waterfall, because then you can continue to do your activities and you don't need to wash your hands. If you do put your mouth on a cup, like for tea, would it be practical to drink it up there? You're going to burn yourself, right? You would just wash your hands afterwards and be aware that once, even if you don't touch your mouth, you're touching the cup that touched your mouth. So your hands are still juta. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
When you have a plate of prasad and you're eating with the plate, let's say your left hand, your left hand is touching the plate, your left hand is still juta because you're touching the prasadi plate. Not juta, prasadi also. It's juta. Yeah, it is juta because you're remnants. Juta is also related to your remnants, right? We always want the remnants of the pure devotees, but we don't want to give our remnants to other people, right?
And in reality, everything is always touching everything else. So the truth is, we're always juta no matter what.
Right. Which is
Constantly wash your hands. Yes. Get it together.
We always surrender to the mantra. The mantra is the true purifier and cleaner. We acknowledge that. And like I said, I don't want to get too caught up in the rules, but it's important, especially those who go to India, to go to the mosques, to go to temples.
Be respectful.
To be respectful of the standard.
Go to different cultures.
Let's say we have our plate of prasad. Generally, we don't want to put it on our clothes when we eat, because the clothes become juta.
Yes.
So we always have it on the ground.
Yes.
And after we eat, we clean the ground.
And not touching your mat where you're sitting.
Correct. It shouldn't touch. And we should eat on a mat. Like sitting on a sitting mat. We should perform Gayatri on a mat. And I'll talk about that. Asanas are really
and then also,
Shakti-ful.
when we're at the prasadam table, to not taste. Like from the plate, tasting. Yeah, you're serving, and not tasting from your plate. Selfie. Okay, selfie. Here we go. So, what you don't do is you have your plate and you don't start snacking, and then serving yourself and snacking and serving yourself, and also, let's say you're honoring prasadam, and I want a little bit more of that. Better to ask someone else that's clean to serve you, and if you want to serve yourself, then leave your plate there, wash your hands, and then you can take the serving and your mouth, and then you take the serving pot and you serve yourself, and you can at first serve everyone else, and then you serve yourself. That's nice etiquette.
Washing your mouth.
Yes.
Do you do that in the kitchen?
No. Bathroom.
You should do it in the bathroom. I mean, India is great because they think about all of these things.
Yeah.
We live in a Western world where our toilets
Mooch culture. Mooch culture. Mooch culture.
But ideally, but some people, here's the thing. Let's be real here. We're talking about regular households, not temple standard, but I'm going to talk about both. You would wash your mouth in the bathroom or a designated sink. Like in India, they have designated sinks just for prasad seva, because that's their priorities about being clean. Some people, they have households where, you have regular dishes in the sink and you have pots. Okay, let's be real here. So then what you would do, I've seen many devotees do this and it works pretty well, is to have your two basins of your sink, one basin for Thakurji, one basin for the jivas. Have different sponges for them.
Yes, like we have here.
Technically, it's kind of still a little gross, but you could technically, because your saliva plates are already in there, you could spit in that side if you wanted to, right? For the household standard. But the left side, right or left, usually left is Thakurji, right is Jiva. If I'm looking at the sink, the left would be Thakurji, which means only pots, only that which is cooked for Krishna, which means those utensils and pots are never used for our own eating. So it's hard, we're talking about cleanliness here, and it's really hard, especially if you have kids and stuff. So it's not always perfect. But try to separate your utensils and your things, or what you use for Krishna and what you use for yourself. That makes sense.
Can you cleanse your mouth by just drinking water?
Teaching.
If you use water.
I've totally done that before.
Okay.
Totally done what?
Drank water as a way to clean out your mouth, but actually we should always spit out.
Spit it out.
Yeah. I'm just saying I've totally done that. We'll be like, I gotta clean my mouth.
Learning something new every day.
But we should swish the water around and spit it out, because there are food particles in our mouth. We want to completely clean our mouth. Okay.
Question?
Yes.
I bought a house and it has one big sink, and the very first thing I did, I asked my handyman, can I convert this to 2 sinks? And he says, yes, if you'd like me to tear out your marble countertops.
Oh, wow.
That's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So I have one sink. So what I do is I have my Jiva and my Krishna
sponges,
and then I put legit, real good cow dung in my dish soap.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's a higher standard.
It's a purifier.
That's a higher standard.
Yes.
If anything is contaminated, you can clean it out.
How was that?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Get your cow dung.
I don't tell everybody that.
Where do you buy? Oh yeah.
I don't usually tell everybody that.
True, but it's actually true.
Well,
Do you want to say something, Vishnu? because you have such a wealth of information
She
too. no?
just did.
Oh, okay, great.
Are you answering questions right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
also, so she was talking about why is cow dung pure. So actually the cow got cursed and blessed at the same time. So everything that comes in the mouth of a cow is impure.
Oh.
So the mouth of a cow is impure.
Oh.
Everything that comes out the other end is pure.
Okay.
So cow pee, cow dung, cow's milk, everything in
Oh my
that area
gosh.
of the body of the cow is completely pure.
Yeah.
And because ideally, I mean, cows that eat all sorts of crappy things at a slaughterhouse or something, probably not, because it's full of terrible, they eat feed. But ideally, cows are eating grass and beautiful herbs, so their dung is only made of that. It's completely pure, and they have 7 stomachs, I think, and it's processed and it's spiritualized, and it's Krishna's favorite animal.
She eats
Five,
at my
five,
house all the
seven,
time, and she has
4.
survived.
4 stomachs.
And also,
Shows
too,
me. I don't
saying
really know.
we live in the Western world, and sometimes things get mixed up, or something
Oh,
gets
sorry.
like thrown over in the other side of the saying, the Jiva side or the Krishna side, and that's why I was just. That's what I was just saying about the cow dung. 'Cause
Use it, honey.
the cow dung, it just purifies everything.
Yeah, everything.
We always have that problem. Like sometimes she would come to the kitchen, or my husband would come to the kitchen, and they would pick something up and then touch it to something else,
Yeah.
and then it's like.
Very well.
Cow dung.
So where do you get your local cow dung?
I have a bag under my
Cow
sink,
sanctuary would be
Yes,
probably.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do a plug. Let's create a plug.
Cow sanctuary in Hilo, on the Big Island.
Is there a website where
Shout
people
out
can
to
purchase?
Narendra Chandrakanta,
Facebook.
Dasi,
I have a
Sichandra, the
lot.
family.
She'll personally ship it to you.
Yeah. Cow dairy and dung.
Ahimsa cow dairy dung.
You can always ride Narayan.
Support the
Narayan
devotees.
Higgins.
Krishna
He's on
Cow
Facebook.
Sanctuary.
Yes.
Amazing. And that actually, just a quick note, because if you look at letter A, I wrote opulence as the third thing for Didi worship. It's not as important.
We have a question online. Anuraga Leela from Lithuania. Woo woo, love you, boo. Is a bull as pure as a cow? Like meaning the bull, bull
I
dung,
think
cow
the
dung.
cow is more sacred, but the bull is equally revered. Actually, in a
That's not true.
no.
The bull, the mound on the bull in his hump is where all of the
Oh, you're right.
demigods live.
I'm so glad this
So,
is
Vishnu's here.
The foot dust from a bull is even more.
So their dung is
so the bull is
first
more
class.
sacred than the cow?
Yeah, and it's sad because really, if you're gonna do cow protection, the bull is the one that will be immediately culled from the herd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also the most sacred.
Okay, I'm so glad you were here to answer that.
Anyway, sorry.
But, Vishnu Priya, yeah, we.
The hump and its back.
Can I just add
One thing, just
Yeah.
before I forget, I was just gonna say that. Oh, I forgot.
It's just gotta. I don't know the A1, B2. I don't know all the names of the cows, but it's gotta be the good cow, the Indian cow, not
That's
the
true, but
bogus
at the
Jersey
same time,
cow.
you know, we talk about Desi cows and Jersey cows. Let's all respect the cows. Okay.
We got lots of things to cover
I know we
here.
have lots of things to cover.
So
Okay.
we can
But-
Q&A after, also more too after.
Okay, here we go. So we're getting back to Archan. We purified our water.
Yes.
We've made, we've brought the holy rivers in,
Yes.
and now we're going to sprinkle. This is something that not everybody does, but what we can actually we need the camera towards the
Okay.
Archan. Yeah. So what you ideally do is you take the spoon, you purify your right hand, okay, and then you purify your left hand. Okay, you guys can try that. Don't have the papers near. Okay? And one thing you can do is take some water and say Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Let's hear it, everyone. Try it, try it.
Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu.
Right? We're purifying ourselves. So tilt the right hand, give it to the left. Yes, beautiful. Okay? And then we're going to, okay, I'm going to bring this closer.
Yeah, bring it closer.
So we're going to, now that we purified both hands, we're going to hold this with the left hand. We're going to put, whoever has an Ashman cup should practice this with me. Cup your hand. Your thumb is always tucked, not like this. Cup your hand. This is,
Is that written?
write that down if you want. Place the water in the center. And you're going to say, Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Om Keshavaya Namah.
And you're going to sip the water.
Or you can touch it to your lip, right?
Or you can touch it to your lip.
Because of like Nirjala Kadasi.
Oh yeah, if it's near gel or that, you can touch it to your lips. But let's just sip it for now. Then you're going to put another cup. Now here's important, when you're sipping, don't sip over the Achman cup, then all your juice sippy water goes
Don't
back in
beautify the
Achman
Achman cup,
That happens so
folks.
much, I can't tell you. Then you're going to pour another drop in and throw it. Throw the water. You're cleaning
Don't
that hand, so you
beautify
just
the
sip it with your mouth, right? That's why we talked about jita. Then another water drop. Om Narayana Namaha.
Oh, here we go. If you wanted the mantras, they're right here.
Throw the water. And then again, purify the hand. This is all in Archan Deepika if you want. And then again, new water drop. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Dropping and throwing the water again. All right. Yes, we just did
Yes,
Archan.
yes, queens. Yes, yes.
Any questions?
No, I just want to say one kind of trick is to kind of like, if you kind of roll it down the middle of your hand, it's kind of easier to get it in your mouth, or near your mouth, instead of like to the side.
Yes.
Like a vessel.
Yeah, you're making a vessel cup in your hand. And this is important for Charnamrita too. Like if you're in a temple and it's Abhishek, you don't want your hand like open and weird. Always the right hand and cupped so that it can actually go inside. And if you drink that Charnamrita, remember we have to wash our hands after, right?
Yes.
It's important.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Applying tilak. So we purified ourselves with water, with the holy waters. We purified ourselves with mantra. And now we're preparing our body. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We're preparing our body now to do worship of the Lord. So we're going to apply tilak. Now you guys already have tilak on, so I'm not going to demonstrate how to do tilak. Oh, you don't? Okay, well maybe Radha or somebody can, or Malika's great at tilak. She can sit with you and show you
Oh, that's a good idea.
ins and outs of tilak. But I'm just going to talk about why we put on tilak, because I remember Satya was asking earlier, like,
Yes.
why. Here's what I've heard. Like I said, our body is a temple, and applying tilak, if our body's a temple, we're cleaning our temple, we're beautifying our temple, and we're getting it ready to invite Radha and Krishna to enter our heart. And Gurudev is already there. We're praying for this mood every morning. So after we've purified ourselves, we're applying tilak. It's our decoration.
Yes.
That's our decoration of the temple. And we mark our body in 12 areas, not just one. But the forehead is the most prominent area of the body. And it also marks who our Ishtadev is, who our beloved Lord is. So in India, you'll see so many people with different markings establishing like who they're worshiping. So it's very important. It's a reminder to others. You're telling people, my body is meant to be of service to God, and it's reminding others, and it's reminding ourselves. That's why we wear tilak. And it's it also tells people who your Ishtadev is, especially in India. So with Vaishnavas, because we're in the Vaishnav family, we have a U or V shape. You'll see on Vaishnavas. It means that our Ishtadev is Krishna, or any incarnation of Krishna, Vishnu, Ram. That's who we worship. If we're Shaivites, where we worship Shiva as the topmost, you'll see 3 lines across of ash. If Devi is your Ishtadev, like Durga, you'll see red, not like just a bindi, but like a red mark. So those are different things. And for us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we have a very beautiful special tilak, because we have our tulsi leaf here, right? And I've heard that one line is Radha, one line is Krishna, and together they're meeting in Vrindavan. Because Vrinda Devi is the presiding Devi, goddess of Vrindavan. So they're meeting in Vrindavan, and that's why it's important. So 2 meanings. We're clearing our own spiritual path. We're clearing our path. That's why we have to have it clean. We don't want our lines broken. We want to have a solid line, because it's a meditation of our own. We're preparing ourselves for what we're doing today. We're going to be of service. We don't want a broken line of service. We want a complete, full line. And a more esoteric meaning is we're clearing the path for Radha and Krishna to meet. That's our meditation. We want to be hopefully engaged in service of having them meet together and being engaged with the manjari. So, tilak, yeah, it is deep.
It's deep.
And okay, if you're working and there's a situation where you can't wear actual tilak, still perform that with water, using your Achman water. I do that sometimes. And apply the tilak using the water with the mantras. Om Keshavaya Namaha Om. So we're going to go through the body parts right now.
You can also put it out, like Prakash puts it on every morning and then just wipes it off before work.
Yeah, you can do that too. But wiping off, generally, I don't know, I always feel kind of skeptical to wipe it off because you're like taking off. But with water, it's safe because it's on and it
But you
just
could go
dries.
such light tilak, no one can ever see.
That's true,
What,
you could
I
do-
wear a uniform to work and no one ever knows I'm wearing tilak.
My
Right,
mom
you
does
can-
that too. She puts like smallest drop of tilak in the water.
Yeah. So there's so many little, like I said, few good ways to do it. But it's always good to do tilak in the morning.
Something you're supposed to do at a set time.
You should do it right when you wake up after this whole purifying process is morning practice. So taking a bath, purifying yourself, performing achman, performing tilak. Let's do our tilak positions, okay? So you're going to do our right ring finger. Same thing what we did the mantras with. Why the ring finger? It's our bhakti finger. Did you know that?
That one.
Our pinkies are for mystic siddhis. So yogis who want mystic siddhis chant on the pinky. Our index fingers for criticizing, so we don't want to use that. That's why we have it outside of our bead bag. Our middle finger is for liberation, for moksha. Which is interesting because we chant.
That's so
We
funny.
chant.
Srila Bharti Maharaj did this finger.
Oh wow! See, Srila Bharti Maharaj. I'm hearing now that he says to chant with the ring finger because it's the bhakti finger. A lot of other acharyas recommend the the middle finger.
Do not liberate others with the the middle finger,
But
please.
guess what? I just want to say, okay, because some devotees are very against mukti. Mukti. Mukti is a byproduct naturally of Krishna consciousness. We don't want mukti. But there are always esoteric meanings to mukti. There's always a deeper level. There's always a mood of braj in everything. And I just read in Bhajan Mahasya, Muktim Dadati. Mukunda, the one Mukunda is the name of Krishna. He's the one who gives mukti. It also means he's the one who loosens the braids and waist belts.
Oh my
So
gosh.
mukti is liberating you from others. Krishna is very funny how he,
It's
he's
funny,
beautiful
alright.
and so charming in all ways.
Yeah.
So we can meditate on just the sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna through mukti. It's not just taboo with the devotees mukti. Oh my God, we can always have
Middle
a
finger's
braj
taboo.
mood to everything. Okay, and so here we go. Ring finger. Opposite. We're kind of you rest your the heel of the hand on your head, and you hold Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Beautiful. And with the leaf, you don't go all the way
But
down.
what about doing like this? I would do it like this.
I do it like this.
This is actually, you can. I do both.
Okay.
This is how Shivagiri does it.
I was totally
At Prabhupada
told
too.
that it's
I
supposed
saw
to
Prabhupada
go
This
do
is
all
it.
the way back.
this is the way that you usually see the acharyas apply to them.
Oh.
But
I mean, oh. Oh, maybe that's
this finger, regardless if you do it this way or
Easier this way.
regardless if you okay. How much time do we have? I don't know what time is it. We're
All
moving
day, we have
faster
all
now.
day.
Until the offering.
Until the offering.
Okay, good. But we're already mostly done. Okay, so we go up.
Oh my
Rustic is
God.
amazing at this.
She's
by the way.
so amazing.
She's so pro. So
We
when
miss
I-
her so much.
Yes. Okay, and then we're gonna take the same finger, apply.
She left yesterday.
Oh, okay. Back up. We have our ball of tilak on our left hand. We put achman in the left hand. Roll the tilak to make a paste, and then you slide. You slide the paste and put it on one side. Because it dries faster if it's all spread out. And then everyone's like, oh, I gotta put more
Oh
water
my
in. You
God.
waste so much tilak, and tilak's falling over the ground.
Yes.
We don't want to waste tilak. It's gopi chandan. It's the dust of,
Such a
of
great
gopis.
class.
So we're yes,
Sometimes when I have extra, I put it back on my tilak ball.
Oh, is that okay?
yes, that's okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Cheer.
Me too.
No.
Oh, it's so exciting.
I've
Yes.
seen it
I didn't
so
know
many
that. I was because I
I hate
thought.
wasting tilak.
Me
Well, tilak can
too.
never technically get muchi. I mean, it's the dust. I mean, unless
Yes,
you're throwing it in a
gopi
dog's
dust.
mouth. But we're good. We're good. So we slide it. We put it on the side. We want it to be not super wet and not super dry. Just
Yes.
that in between, nice, pasty
Just right.
consistency. You'll learn this perfect amount because we don't want to waste tilak. It's important. Or we put it back on the ball. Okay, so we brought here. We did Om Keshavaya Namaha. And now we're going to go here and we're going to roll our finger just a little bit around and then pull down. And while we're doing this, we can sing the prayer for Tulsi Maharani. And we have, I have it on here. You guys can take pictures of this for the prayers. but let's just, you can repeat after me, or if you know it, just say, who doesn't know it?
Which
Okay.
one?
Okay. Om Vrindaya Tulasi.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We'll repeat after me. We'll take pictures of it later. Om Vrindaya Tulasi Devyaya
Tulasi Devya,
Priyaye
Priyaye,
Keshavasya Cha
Keshavasya Cha,
Krishna Bhakti
Krishna Bhakti,
Pradadevi
Pradadevi,
Satyavatai
Satyavatai,
Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
So meditating on Tulsi Maharani Radha Krishna. We have our tilak. Now, I didn't know this in ISKCON. Rasika does this without a cloth. I don't know how she does it. But she cleans without a cloth by just putting pressure.
That's what I do too.
And it always looks great.
I do that too. It doesn't look as good, but yeah.
That's why my tilak looked horrible when I was in ISKCON because it was just, I have bumpy fingers. One second. But the best thing to use is a cloth if you want perfect beauty.
Yeah, perfect tilak.
So I brought my, Shila Gurudev used a cloth. So we take a cloth, we put it on our ring finger always. Yeah.
Ring finger.
The same finger. And what we do is we clean, people have different order. That you clean the inside and you slightly clean the outside spillover.
Yes,
and then you clean the sides and kind of make the tulsi leaf into a tip. Right? It's not,
Sometimes.
Not in the bathroom.
Correct. I'm so glad you brought it up.
Because you got the whole mirror thing going on now.
Yes. So this is why I'm bringing this out. My husband, of course, he's always so prepared. I'm not. This is a tilak kit. It's a little dirty. But what you want ideally in your tilak kit is you have your tilak. Instead of using an Archan cup, you can also have a squeeze bottle. Some people put holy water in this, and you can have, kusum sarovar, radhakund. I mean, it's amazing. Just don't lose it, And then you have your cloth, and then you have your little mirror. And this is another Devotee 101 item to have always. So you have your tilak kit and your Archan cup. You're good to go. And you have your Seva Kunj picture. You are all set. You are all set.
Always for sale at Badger Fest, so all the more reason to go.
Oh, yes. At the Badger Festival, you'll find some for sale. So yes. Oh, Radha's, let's see Radha's tilak kit.
Look at this little thing for, then you can drop exactly how much water you want, hello.
That's why we can use those bottles.
Yes.
Spray bottle, beautiful.
And look how gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Stop it.
Speaking of which, no, this is beautiful. You see how everything is in a beautiful pouch?
Yes.
Something I've seen devotees do recently. I love traveling because I get to see the amazing things that devotees do. They do for Krishna. And I've seen some devotees put their bead bag in a case, also like this, a satchel. And that's so important because our beads bag gets so dirty sometimes.
Yes.
That's why I don't have a white bead bag. I know, I'm guilty. But it's our heart, and if we don't have Thakurji also, our beads are Radha and Krishna. They are Thakurji. They're non-different. Just like the name is non-different from the form, Nam and Nami, our beads are. Gurudev is giving us, he's giving us Harinam. He's giving us our beads, and that is Thakurji. So we can also treat our beads like Thakurji. Don't put our beads on the floor. Don't just throw them around. Don't shake our bead bag.
Yes.
Unless you want them to have like a headache or something. Like you kind of shake them up like they're beads.
And not putting songbooks on the floor.
Songbooks also. So anything sacred we don't want to put on the floor. That's why I have a cloth here. Even our Archan
cups. Look at that.
Example. For songbooks, some people have designated song cases.
Bring a cloth even.
Or bring a cloth.
Designated cloth.
It's always good to have a cloth handy. And
it's all about the love.
It's all about love, yeah.
It's all about love.
Like you don't want to, if you love something, you don't want to have disrespect for it, right? It's not just about the rules. There's always a reason behind it. So with japa and all of that. Oh, with japa, I was going to say some beautiful thing I learned recently because I don't have Thakurji, so I'm like, I want to sometimes dress Didis. I want to bathe Didis. You can't do that with pictures. I don't have that same, even though they're non-different, I don't have that same connection. Like with Didis, it's so special. So with japa, I heard you can also, on special days, bathe your beads.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So with, you can do the Gangecha, purify your water, and bathe your beads. You can massage your beads with ghee, like anakadasi, or with certain oils. Mustard oil. There's certain oils you can, and meditate, and really treat your beads like Thakurji. I mean, it's beautiful meditation. So,
beautiful.
When I heard that, I'm like, I should start doing that because you know, if you want that fix to like dress out for you or something, well, we have our beads.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
And you're so beautiful. Oh my
All right, so let's get back to the 12 nadis. So like we said, we're decorating our temple, our body. The 12 nadis are actually like energetic portals.
Wow.
So we're like,
ooh, I like
you know,
that.
people wonder why it's all, there are certain specific body points, like acupuncturists will know. And that's also why we, by the way, do this, because we're creating a closed circuit. So our energy, when our hands are open, the energy is flying out, because we're electric beings, we're energetic beings. When we put our thumb on our finger, we're closing the circuit.
Let's make space.
And this is the, oh my God.
Do we always need to have the other hands doing that too?
Not necessarily, but yes. Actually, no, yes. Well, no, with this one you would just put it over.
Yeah, it just seems like it helps with that whole energy thing.
For Gayatri, I'm going to get into that in just a moment. So I'm just saying closed circuits. So this is the ring finger, the heart finger. It's connected to our heart. So we're closing the circuit so our energy doesn't go out. It goes back into the heart. Oh yeah, take an natural. We have plenty. We have so many. All right. Okay, let's get into the just over. Yeah, you don't close it. Any other questions? Okay, let's go on.
Oh, I was just saying, I've seen people doing boga offerings like this, and even like this.
Like
I'm like,
I'm just gonna
which
teach you what I know.
Prabhu is that?
There's
Do I like
There's
that?
also, there's something I have to say though.
Oh,
In
Mataji.
bigger pujaris, like very huge pujari standards, you'll see them do all sorts of things. But eventually, not all of that is favorable for Braj Bhakti, because it's very Vaikuntha mood. So that's why we're giving like the basics, because we really don't want to get all involved into like all of this mystical power. We just want to be like, here Krishna, we're giving you flowers, please take my heart. Like we want it simple.
Instead of the gopis laugh and they joke, like do all the things. Krishna's laughing.
Oh my God. Wait, I'll get to do it again, Vishnu, again.
Rumi said that the gopis will do that as a joke with Krishna and they laugh. They all joke about it.
Oh my God.
Mudras and stuff.
Oh my God, love it.
I was trained like that to do all these, you do the Kamadana, you do,
Yeah,
the
the
boar.
what is that, this
and
and
yeah, exactly. It's so difficult. Lotus, I say like doing Bharatanatyam. It was like you don't need to do all this stuff. Like even when Griddy would give out like sweets, we would accept like this. Close hand, like that. Like, that's how you always would accept something. You're holding back that curse finger, right? Griddy was like prying.
Oh my
fingers
God.
Open.
Oh my God.
Get rid of this, Vaidi, like.
Vaidi gnarliness. Oh my God, that's awesome. Vishnu has these zingers you don't even know. She has zingers to spare. My God.
Okay, the offering's on. So we
Love
have to do it
her.
once, 'cause we haven't talked about offering food, which I need to get to. So we have Om Keshavaya Namaha
Om Keshavaya Namaha.
on the navel. Om Narayana Namaha.
Om Narayana
The
Namaha.
chest or solar plexus. Om Madhavaya Namaha.
Om Madhavaya Namaha.
Om Govindaya Namaha.
Om Govindaya
And the hollow
Namaha.
of the neck. The hollow.
Oh, the hollow.
The hollow of the neck.
Oh my God, all these years.
Some people do it all the way down here. It's actually in the hollow. of
In the
neck.
hollow,
Okay.
folks. Oh
Okay,
my
and then
God.
ready?
Note
We're
that
gonna
down.
Oh, sorry. No. Right hand.
Oh my God.
Om Govindaya Namaha. Oh, sorry. Om Vishnave Namaha.
Wait, not on the side?
On the right side.
Yeah, it's on the right side. Sorry, I have
But
to. I don't wanna
how
expose
much
myself.
to, okay.
Just here.
Here, not here.
No, not on
Oh,
that side.
I've been doing it wrong all these years. I've been doing it wrong all these years.
This is why it's important. Greetings, family. We don't know about Archan. We're learning this. Even
Did we do this class in Badger?
Seriously,
We should.
yes.
Vishnu,
Yes.
we should be doing it.
Vishnu,
Oh, we can tag
Vishnu.
team. We can tag
Yeah,
team.
tag team. Tag
Oh, well, I'm going to
team.
be doing drama plays, but we'll see who can do
Oh
that.
my God,
We got Dina
yes. Dina Bandhu. Go to your
No.
Wait, so in the stomach.
No, it's
On the
right in
side of the
stomach. I'm sorry, I'm flashing everyone here.
It's all right.
So Om Vishnave Namaha. Now you have to use your left hand because you're going to
Yes,
touch your
of
right
course,
arm.
of
So
course.
Here we go. This is the bicep. Yeah. how
The
can you
bicep.
do- I mean, come
There we
on.
go.
Okay. Om Madhusudanaya Namaha.
Om Madhusudanaya Namaha.
Om Trivikramaya Namaha.
Om
Now,
Trivikramaya Namaha.
okay, some people, I've seen it here.
Yes.
It's the shoulder cap also.
Oh
So
my
it starts from the
God.
shoulder cap and goes down. Not here.
This is really good.
It can also be up here, but basically needs to be near the shoulder.
Oh
bone.
my God.
Somewhere near there. Not all the way up here. That's
No,
the
but shoulder bone. I've been doing it up here.
It's okay. I'm also totally guilty of this. I'm learning too. Okay, other
Oh
side.
my
Right.
God.
Om Vamanaya Namaha.
Om Namanaya Namaha.
Om Sridharaya Namaha.
Om Sridharaya Namaha.
Om Rishikeshaya Namaha.
Om Rishikeshaya Namaha.
Upper back. Om Padmanabhaya Namaha.
Om Padmanabhaya Namaha.
Because it's Krishna's waist.
Om
Om Damodaraya Namaha.
Om Damodaraya
That's
Namaha.
right.
It's right here.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Like the sake.
Just above the sacrum. Kind of in your last
Oops.
vertebra. Om Vasudevaya
Oh.
Namaha.
What, you for ladies?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Vasudevaya Namaha is the leftover tilak. So if you're using tilak, it's the leftover tilak. Now, I mean, come on, be real, guys. If you have a whole clump of tilak, do not put your whole tilak on your head. I see it and it bothers me.
I've done that too. Oh, I've done everything wrong all these years.
Correct. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to touch it. Exactly.
Yeah, you see the a mud secret.
You don't want to mud secret.
Oh my
You have your
God.
tilak cleaned up and
Oh
just with,
my
with a little
God.
tilak or a little, not even tilak, just a little water actually. Om Vasudevaya Namaha.
Oh
On
my
your
God.
pineal gland, where the
Oh
secret
my God.
is your crown chakra.
The pineal is here.
Sorry, pineal, what's this one?
I don't know.
There's another one.
Oh, it's the pineal.
The crown.
The crown. Oh my.
Anyways, the crown, you know what I mean. Okay, so with all of that, we've done the tilak, and now it's time to do our Gayatris and our
Okay.
japa. Now, for those who don't know Gayatri, Didi was saying this, and it's beautiful.
Oh.
With this mudra, you can also chant to practice in the morning. Even if it's for a little bit, you can chant Maha Mantra on each one to get into that state of meditation. So what we do, just a quick, we start there, we go down, to the left, up, up. Now it's a little different for other sanghas, so I'm doing what Gurudev taught us. Yes, it is. And then go down, down, right? And then one more. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we end here.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot. We end here. So it's 10. Other sanghas do 12.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I think Srila Bhakti Balatirtha Maharaj, maybe. I've heard or anyhow, there's other numbers. But from what we've heard from Srila Gurudev, we do 10 times. So let's say you don't have your beads. You can chant like that 10 times. 10 times 10 is 100. Do 8. 108. You got it round.
Yay.
So all of that whole purifying stuff is to get you in that state of meditation to chant mantra, ultimately, to do
Yes.
Harinam. And whatever Harinam you do, again, it's the same as Archan, consistency. Whatever the amount you do, you should do every day. I'm saying that for myself. That brings the power in the Shakti of the mantras. And, oh yes, and before we even start Harinam, before we even do Gayatris, it's helpful to pray to the mantra devatas, to those who are there, praying to Harinam Prabhu. That's why we sing bhajans also, praying, I don't understand you, I don't know who you are, you haven't been revealed yet in my heart. Please reveal yourself to me, even if I chant the mantras incorrectly and I haven't done everything perfectly, please be merciful. These are prayers. However you're feeling inspired in English or in Sanskrit or whatever to pray before we chant.
There's some mantras that Shikha Maharaj shared with us that they really taught them all.
Wow.
And then I can send them around.
Oh great, Vasanti can send around prayers that you can say before japa. Perfect. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Okay, since we're offering food right now, let's do oh my God, we're getting into offering food. So some of you don't have Diksha, some of you do. But we should always offer our food, no matter what, to Krishna. Otherwise it's sin. It's considered sin. We don't want to eat sin. So we have our plate. It's always good to have a designated plate just for Thakurji. You can have little bowls, and you can have cute little cups and spoons. But you have a designated plate that's only for Krishna. And you put the boga after you've cooked with love as much as possible, okay? put the preparations on the plate. Do not put tulsi on yet. And
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because if you're in the kitchen, especially in a temple, and you have tulsi on it already, people think it's offered.
Yes.
Don't do that. We're putting tulsi later.
Later.
In the altar. On
In the altar.
So we have it prepared, and we bring it to the altar. And we usually on the altar have 2 Archan cups. So I said go-to is having 1, but better if you have 2. 1 is full, 1 is empty. Okay? And
That's one for yourself and one for
that too.
Takarji.
Huh? 3. Okay,
Three.
we're going to make it harder for you guys.
There's a
You
throw
need to do
pot,
Archan cup.
right? It's a throw
Yeah, this is a throw pot.
Okay, got it.
Sorry, not a Archan cup. But some people use empty Archan cup. You're right, throw pot. 2 Archan cups and a throw pot. So here are my 2 Archan cups. I'll take out the spoon.
Yeah, I was
Go
just-
ahead. No, just walk in front of me. Don't worry.
You're,
No, don't be sorry.
You're
Takarji
wonderful,
is the king.
Jimuna.
He has to eat.
He's hungry.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Punctuality.
Don't
He's
be
like, give me
sorry.
food.
Yeah, food. Okay, our throw pot, 2 Archan cups.
Okay,
One
wait.
is for Takarji, 1 is for ourselves. So first we do our Archan, but we already did that. We're clean. Now we're going to pray to Gurudev. So whatever prayer that is, if it's an individual prayer to your Gurudev, or if you don't have a Guru, Om Jnana Timirandasya to all Gurus, whatever your, whatever is easy for you. I'm doing the English version. I'm not going to give you all the prayers. It's in Archan Deepika. And this is mostly for people who don't have Diksha. And of
Yes.
course, those who have Diksha, you should know those prayers. If you don't, Archan Deepika.
Bless
Okay.
your heart if you forgot them. Bless their heart if they forgot the
So we
diction they
pray-
received.
We first pray to Gurudev and our spiritual guardians. We pray that we cannot directly offer to the food to the divine couple, but they can because they have realization of the Lord. They chant 64 rounds also, we don't. Mahaprabhu says he doesn't accept anything unless you chant 64 rounds. So we pray to Gurudev to give it to him because he won't accept our offering without Gurudev. So then with the Archan cup, we're going to offer mentally an asana, a seat for Gurudev. You say idam asanam and Gurave Namaha, but I'm not going to get into the Sanskrit. You just think, oh Gurudev, here's a seat for you. You can imagine how comfy it's going to be and place it into the throw pot. So the water signifies that offering. Thinking about it and pouring it into the pot. Then you offer Achman to Srila Gurudev so he can clean his hands, his mouth into the throw pot. And you're doing this in English. Oh Gurudev, I'm giving you this Achman, please accept. Or you're giving water to clean your hands and mouth, whatever. So you can say it in English or in Sanskrit. That will be the next. Then you do the same to your deities, Radha and Krishna and Mahaprabhu. Oh Mahaprabhu, oh Radha and Krishna, I'm offering you a seat of beautiful flowers, however you want to imagine it. This is actually the key with the difference between Vaidhi Bhakti and then Vaidhi Bhakti trying to aspire for Raganuga Bhakti is we want to infuse it with practicing our mind. Our mind is a beautiful thing. It's a pivot, either to Krishna or to Maya. So we want to use it, even if it seems like imagination, actually. It's, Srila Gurudev gave a perfect example. A little tangent here. I heard that Vishaka Didi, she was a wonderful god sister, senior god sister of mine, and she asked Srila Gurudev. She was back in their 90s with Gurudev and got to ask a lot of questions. And she was saying, if I'm imagining me giving things to Krishna and Radharani, and isn't that Sahajya? Isn't that, I'm paraphrasing, it's not exactly what she said, but isn't that imagination? Because I haven't realized it yet. Oh, I just touched my feet. See, purify my hand. Isn't that imagination? And Gurudev says, it's like this, it's aspiration. That's what we're doing. So it's not like, oh, I'm meditating and I'm a manjari. We're not, yes, we're aspiring to be a manjari. We haven't realized that yet. We don't want to pretend what we're not, right? But we're aspiring for that. And Srila Gurudev gave a beautiful example. He said it's like a young girl. A mom tells her young daughter, one day you're going to get married. She doesn't know what marriage is about, right? But the mother says you're going to get married and you're going to cook and you'll have kids and you'll have a husband. She doesn't quite know what that means, but she has a dollhouse and she plays house. She has her and her husband and her kids and they're playing, and that's okay. that's a semblance or some idea that, oh, one day that's what I will have in my life. And she's aspiring for that through her play. So with our imagination, or not even our imagination, through our thoughts, we're purifying our mind and also training ourselves, praying that actually becomes reality through aspiration. So we're aspiring. So that's an important point. So where was I? We're offering an asana to Radha and Krishna. Oh, Radha Krishna Mahaprabhu, please accept this asana, throwing into the throw pot water. We're offering Achman also to Radha and Krishna. I have all the list here. Can someone read it? Letter F. Can someone slowly read one by one? So we offer them seats.
Wash their feet.
Wash their feet.
Wash their hands.
Wash their hands. Offer Achman.
And flowers.
Offer flowers. And also, you can offer madhuparka. You'll see this sometimes. It's a honey drink. I don't know exactly what it is. So again, we have to use our imagination a little bit. But it's a honey drink. And it's sweet. We want to offer something sweet to the Lord, to the divine couple before they have their meal. Something tasty. So all of these things we offer, throw into the throw pot. Then we place tulsi leaves onto the boga, and we can do a circle of water around the plate. It's supposed to be like an energetic barrier from insects, I've heard, like it keeps insects away. But also sometimes you place drops of water onto the food, but you also have to think about, some people again get too obsessed with the rules and don't have a brain about it. You don't put water on popperdams or popper. It becomes soggy. Krishna doesn't want to have soggy poppers. Why are you putting water on poppers, right? You know, you're not going to pour water on ice cream. Like, come on, you know, think about it. You know, certain preps, like you don't want it. You want to think about what you're putting water on. So for those items, you don't put water on it. And so you do that, and then after, with the same mudras, with the right, and you cover, you would do the Gopal mantra if you have Diksha, right? If you do not have Diksha, with your own English and your heart and soul, you would just pray for the deities to accept, through the guidance of the Guru and Vaishnavas, to accept the preparation. And then afterwards, you would step outside of the altar room, spend about 10 minutes. Of course, some people shorten it, you know, if they don't have time. We'll talk about quick offerings. And then you would, normally you would do Gayatri, certain Gayatri mantras, but for the non-Dikshit devotees, you can chant Mahamantra on your hands while you're waiting. And you wait 10 minutes, like she's doing. You're going to ring a bell. I forgot. Bell ringing is really important. There's always cleaning the sound vibration, yeah?
Also, when we pick tulsi, we have to wash tulsi leaves.
Yes.
Good point.
Before
So
you
important.
put it on the tray.
So
Very
important.
Good point. I have Archan Deepika here, and I have the 4 prayers for Tulsi Maharani, because some people are asking. It has the pranam prayer. It has the prayer when you water tulsi. It has the pranam prayer when you pick tulsi, because you're asking for forgiveness if she experiences any pain. And then you also have, first the picking one, and then the asking for forgiveness after picking. So you can take that. We don't have time to go over those mantras. But yes, washing tulsi leaves is very important.
We only have this one, so I'm going to show this one.
Okay.
This is the Archan Deepika that you can get on bhaktistore.com right now.
And they have nice
It's
little
on
cards
sale, I
inside
think. I'll check.
with the mantras.
Okay, we have 2 minutes. We're at the end here. This is great. Okay. We didn't even get into arti, which was like...
A whole
anyway.
thing. It's a whole category.
It's a whole thing. But like I said,
Bhaktistore.com.
Consistency,
Bhaktistore.com. Get as many as you can.
That thing every day. Okay, so 10 minutes. You clap 3 times to re-enter. You always clap and make a sound before you enter the Didi room, because you don't know what they're doing. You don't want to interrupt their
Just like
business.
knocking on a door.
Knocking on a door, ringing a bell, whatever you have in your altar situation. Make some noise. And then you again take the water pot, and you're going to offer Achman, because Radha and Krishna also are cleaning out their hands. They're cleaning their hands and mouth after eating. And then you offer betel nut or tambul. And you can imagine that. And then afterwards, you're going to offer the prasad to Gurudev, to the Vaishnavas. I have the list here. Tulsi Maharani, to Purnamasi Devi, who is Yogamaya, to the Gopis, the Manjaris, all the Vaishnavas, all the Vaishnavis, and the eternal associates of Vrindavan, the Brajavasis, so that they can have first. Because we're not enjoying first. We want to serve all the Vaishnavas first. Hopefully, if you have Vaishnavas in your house, you want to serve them first. But at least if you're alone, you're going to, give them opportunity to, have them have prasad before you take. And then after 5 minutes, you'll come back, clap, offer Achman to Gurudev and the Vaishnavas, And you'll take the preparation off the altar, wipe that area where the plate has been, transfer the items back into the pots. You can do that, or sometimes some people put the maha on a separate plate, and then you're going to wash your Didi plate, you know, and then yes, Didi plates get washed before you take prasad.
Oh, so
Yes.
Yes. Perfect.
Yes, as soon as you empty it, wash it. That's like the most practical, easy thing to do. And then we take Mahaprasad, and before we do that, we always honor Prasad. We don't eat Prasad. Shivagiri would say that. We're honoring. There's beautiful prayers about Mahaprasad. Yes.
And you can like print it out and put it on your
Somebody likes to eat. He said, I've never eaten anything in my whole life.
right where you
Gotta hook us up with it. Give it online.
Yes, because he honors everything. We honor Prasad.
And
so on that note,
here's for the tilak,
Mahaprasad shouldn't wait.
where the tilak should be.
Should
It's in the Archan Deepika. Get your copy at bhaktistar.com.
The Archan rule, so we should not, without further ado, if we have any questions, I'm sure Basanti Didi knows, and Didi knows, and you know. I'm saying during Mahaprasad, I don't know, we're not talking. Anyways, Hare Krishna, Jai Vancha Kalpa Jai